Okay, I suppose just a little bit about me. I was a partner at Parry for 20 years, so I think it's important to stress that. So I do clearly have a connection and a vested interest. But I retired, it's almost a year to the day, retired after 20 fantastic years as a tax partner. And I think even as a tax partner, it's quite interesting that I chose, and it's not just me and my wife, Elizabeth, chose to use wealth. Even with that 20 years of tax knowledge through Parry, I chose to use wealth because I suppose it gave us that reassurance that somebody is looking after your interests. And we use wealth not when I retired, we use wealth in the 6 or 7 years leading up to retirement, which is probably a really important time to make sure that the numbers work and giving you that reassurance that actually I can retire and we can enjoy what we've been enjoying in the last year, even in these rather strange times with COVID around. I was looking at the actual relationship I have with Parry Wealth. My main contact is Cody, and she's just fantastic. I'd say compared with me, she's very young in her years, but actually it doesn't show in any way in terms of her knowledge. And I gave an example. I spoke to Steve Jones, who heads the team, the other week. She challenged me, and the last week we have sort of biannual meetings, and the last meeting she challenged me quite hard on something that I had a view about, and I suppose I thought I had a knowledge about. But when I thought about it, and Elizabeth and I discussed it, she was absolutely right. It just shows that real robust challenge. So in terms of we have a really good working relationship, but they're not frightened to say when they think something needs to change or do something differently. They're certainly not yes men. And I suppose particularly my position as having been a partner there for 20 years, I think that's a really good example that they're not just rolling over saying, oh, he's a partner, we'll just do what he says. Not at all. I mean, it's a really, really great working relationship. Sending me stuff online, I don't want lots of paper, it's not saving the world and all that sort of stuff, but it's great. We have an online portal where we can access all the data. Elizabeth and I actually keep monthly records of our own sort of finances, and it's really good to tap into all the pages and all the data that Wealth retain for us. So even that side of the working relationship, it works extremely well where we can do that remotely rather than having batches of piles of paper that you have after meetings. And we know what most of us do with that. We throw it in the bin, and that's not something that Wealth do. So I think very conscious of waste and everything around that. So overall, a fantastic working relationship, and really hats off to Cody. She is first rate. I think the experience that we've had in working with Wealth over a number of years, it gave us the reassurance that we could financially retire. I mean, I suppose I was quite open with the partnership that I wanted to retire relatively young. I'm now 58, but I retired just before my 58th birthday. But it gave us that. I suppose it gave us the choices and the options. One of my things I always say, the definition of affluence for me is not about having lots of money. It's about having choices. And it was really great to work with Wealth over that long period of time, discussing those choices. What would it look like? And you could say as a tax partner, I want to know most of the answers, whether it's sorting out my life cover, sorting out debts and mortgages and cash positions and investments. But actually, working with somebody like Wealth, they take all that worry away from me. I have complete peace of mind that it's all sorted. We meet up twice a year. If there's a market jitters, all those sort of things, they're very helpful e-flyers that they send out just to kind of reassure you they're on it, etc. But it really is complete peace of mind. And, Elizabeth and I can go away and enjoy what we want to do, which is, the last year, enjoy retirement, which isn't about the end and stopping everything. We look at it as stopping working, and it's starting a new phase in our life. And it's very exciting and backed up with the reassurance that Wealth, have our back. They absolutely know what's going on. So one thing just to point out, I suppose, as a tax partner, I do know and do understand that the various sort of tax intricacies that are linked with my own position, inheritance tax and all those types of things. But I think what's really, really interesting for me from the Wealth perspective is not just about looking after and investing your finances. They very much look at across the board, whether that be the inheritance tax planning, capital gains tax planning, making sure you've got wills and powers of attorney. All those things have been sorted for me and Elizabeth. And again, yes, we'd had those things semi-sorted in the background, but the way we work with Wealth is to just nailed it, and they made sure that your children moved on, and when you did those wills 10 years ago, it felt right. But our children have all left home, they've grown up, they've got partners, and all those changes they pick up each year or every half year when we have those meetings. They ask, has anything changed in your family circumstances? Our daughter's getting married in March, and all those things make a difference. But so it's not just about the investment planning, it's very much the whole. They look at sort of 4 different areas, but the whole kind of tax side of it is very much linked across. So I think that's a really important part of what wealth offers. So I think in summary, if you ask me, what's the experience like for me and Elizabeth working with wealth? I mean, it's been a fantastic journey. It's a journey that we don't see an end to. We see working with them for many, many years to come, because that's what's really interesting about this. Is we've built up the last 6 or 7 years. We've now got into our first early phase of retirement, but it just gives us the peace of mind that we can go and do what we want to do, which is enjoy our life, enjoy our 3 adult children, and hopefully future grandchildren, all those sort of things, in the knowledge that we can afford to do that. And affordability is a kind of funny concept, but it's actually, it doesn't really matter what's in the bank. It's about what's up here in your head. And if we feel happy and content, which is what wealth gives us, we will hopefully enjoy a long and fruitful retirement. So thank you, Wealth, for making it great for me, Elizabeth. And I really would have no hesitation. I mean, I've got friends and family, obviously, but if they ask me who would they use, well, there's lots of people out there, but I'd be lying to say the best person to use is CP Wealth, because they are the best in the business. So thank you, Wealth.